Hello, everyone. Ray Crawford here in our Campus Insiders studios, along with our college basketball analyst, Jordan Cornette. And Jordan, there's a game that kids like to play called Apples to Apples. It's a cards game. With the start of the A-10 tournament coming up this week in Brooklyn, thought we'd play that game with a little bit of a Campus Insiders twist. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
I'm going to reach into our virtual card deck, and we're going to pull out the card that says costly.
Costly. Well, you can think of a lot of teams here, but I'm going to go with the St. Joseph's Hawks. You know, this was a team that everybody believed was already into the tournament. Then they sputtered to the finish of the regular season, losing to George Washington, and then a bad loss to LaSalle. Now this team finds themselves in a must-win situation going into the conference tournament. They're most likely going to face the Dayton Flyers in what's going to be called a bubble game. Whichever team wins that one dances. The team that loses, their bubble bursts. So you could say, well, why doesn't Dayton have a costly situation here? They do, but not as costly as St. Joe's. Why? St. Joe's was in the tournament. St. Joe's lost those last two games. St. Joe's finds himself in a must-win. Dayton was out of the discussion, rattled off 6 wins in a row down the stretch in the regular season, and they're back into it. Because of the late season implosion, I believe the Hawks have more to lose in this one, so it's more costly.
Like what you did with the word costly. Very,
lot
very
right
good.
there,
All
right?
Let's give you another one here. Special.
Special. Well, I've been called special a few times in my life. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but when you talk about the UMass point guard that goes 5'9", 175, Chaz Williams, this guy is special. With the ball in his hands, he can do anything. You want him to score the ball, he averages 16 points per game, their leading scorer. You want him to make the guys around him better? How about 7 assists per game? He's a playmaker. When the ball's in his hands, good things happen. He's also a pretty good defender, averaging about a steal and a half per game. Now, with that size, the guy just goes and goes and goes. I believe he's capable of putting a team on his back, much like Kemba Walker did with that 2011 team, running through the conference title on the way to the championship. The guy like this is a guy you have to game plan against. That's what makes him most valuable. That's what makes him so special.
I'm not really sure if this is in the actual card deck of the game, but it is for our purposes here. Addictive.
Addictive. Now that's an interesting one. And I think when you talk about this one, it's got to be the St. Louis Billikens, but it's got to be what they're doing offensively. Addictive to bad behavior on the offensive side. They've been turnover prone. There's been a reliance on the three-point shot. They're getting nothing from it. Their best three-point shooter, Rob Lowe, one of his last 17 from distance. 47 turnovers. That's why they've lost 3 of their last 5. The Billikens must be better.
All right, normally Apples to Apples is a game that anybody can win, sort of like the A-10 tournament, but only one team can hoist the hardware. Who's it going to be?
Well, I got to see this team play just this past weekend in Richmond. The VCU team, these Rams, I mean, watching them play is a revelation. What they do defensively, the energy. They play about 11 guys, and they play at a high pace, up-tempo basketball, incredibly physical. They can take over a game simply by what they do defensively. They lead the nation in takeaways, a big part of their game. They don't rely on offense. Watch what these guys do to their opponent come dancing time.
Shaka Smart always has them ready for the postseason.
Unbelievable.
All right, JC, thanks very much. For more of the college postseason, log on and look around. CampusInsiders.com.